Good morning, Mechanizers. Listen, just wanted to make a quick video today. Back from holidays. I was gone for a week. Posted a nice short on YouTube of Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. Be sure to check it out. Why not? Absolutely beautiful. Back from holidays and a little bit been outside on my deck. Just preparing some different materials and taking a look at a few different, getting organized for a season of building up the Mechanizd site and automating AI and automating monetization on the web. But today I just wanted to talk a little bit about Vercel. Okay, so got a number of technologies I'm going to be making videos about, but I wanted to start with Vercel today. Actually, I want to shout out to one of my clients, one of my customers, that it is time to make your Vercel account. Okay, connect it to your GitHub and import your project. And I think I'm going to just, if I can, sort of demo how to do that, and then touch on a few other things that are a bit more important to me and Mechanizd. So let's do it. Go to Mechanizd.com. I put a link to Vercel up here, just because I took this template from them, and I'm actually not getting any affiliate income. You know what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to Vercel.com. I wonder if this is possible, and just look at the title page. Probably not possible if you're actually logged in. So what could we do? Maybe we could go to a different browser, and we could go to Vercel.com here. Let's see if this works. Templates. Yeah, good. Let's do it. Let's just take a look at the Vercel website without being logged on first. Just switch to Chrome quick. Okay. Amazing platform, for deploying JavaScript apps to the internet. It uses a special type of technology called Next.JS. I've actually discussed with some people and with my clients some of the benefits of Next.js that I recall. Is a little bit foggy to me. I've been on holidays. I'm not 100% up to speed, just cerebrally with all the benefits. But it's a serverless architecture, right? Next.js particularly good for sort of writing serverless apps. Serverless apps are not running as a service the whole time. They tend to run, or they run just when somebody clicks on them, right? So they use less resources in the cloud. Vercel is a type of cloud, right? You could deploy your app to Azure, but if you're working with Azure, then you've got all the complexity of Azure, and you have all the complexity of all the different types of things you can do on Azure. You could do machine learning. You could do VMs. It's a huge supermarket, right? Vercel is sort of doing one thing well, deploying Next.js apps to the internet. So it's sort of like a cloud, but probably behind Vercel is one of the major cloud providers like Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, or IBM, or something like that. Who knows? But they're probably using it as their back end, but they sort of abstract it from you, right? And they make it simpler. So that's one of the benefits of Vercel and Next.js, right? And really good interaction, or what's the word I'm looking for? Connectivity with GitHub, right? And we're going to just hopefully highlight that a little bit, and these are going to get better. Just taking a look at the apps. I mean, some of the interesting things using Vercel, OpenAI, Perplexity, Zapier, Runway, Unity, and Leonardo.ai are not my favorites, but I mean, why not? These AI companies are using Vercel. Well, they've got web interfaces. Are these web interfaces written in Next.JS, deployed to Vercel? Very, very well, maybe. I think Vercel is a winner, right? Vercel and Next.js are winning this particular sort of category. And if you think about the apps that you want to spend your time learning, learn a winner. Yes, it can be fun to pick a niche technology, but if you learn a winner, it's going to suit you better. Your career, your CV, your audience is going to be interested in these technologies, which are potentially number one. So, just taking a look at this right now, I didn't know this before I started this video. Perplexity and OpenAI using Vercel. Love it. Just take a look here. Privacy friendly, lightweight analytics. Every deploy is remarkable. It is remarkable for deploying your app. It's the type of thing I'm sort of hoping to show, if not in this video, a little bit. Actually, I don't use the command line myself. Deploy from Git or your CLI. I like using Git. Go ahead, deploy on Friday. Instantly roll back to a working deployment. That might be true. I've never had to roll back, right? I'm just doing personal projects here, learning projects. We don't use Vercel at my company. I use it at home on the weekends when I'm developing my own projects. Deploy once, deliver everywhere. Very nice. A little bit of JS, TSX is TypeScript, okay. Not an expert in JavaScript, but I'm an expert in programming. I don't see why. I'm not going to go into exactly what this code is, but on this, we're going to be going into code on this channel. I'm a developer. I've been a developer for 20 years. Major companies in New York City and other financial centers. So getting to code is going to be the type of thing we want to touch on, but we'll see. Deploy your first app in seconds. Absolutely possible. Yeah, ready to deploy. Start deploying. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so one thing we need to do is we need to sign up. I'm going to click sign up here, even though I don't want to sign up, but I'm just going to take it just a little bit. A nice little, give them some information on your landing page. This is actually pretty important. When people sign up, you want to find out what they're up to. Are they a company or a person? I'm going to be talking a little bit in the future about landing pages. Is the type of thing I think this is a good try. This would be me. We're hobbyists, right? I can put my name in here, even though I'm not planning to take this too far. Continue with GitHub. I'm normally 99% of the time I do continue with email. I like to keep track of my passwords, okay, in a password vault. I use KeePass for that. You can see it at the bottom here. I'm going to, I think this one particular time I used continue with GitHub because you want to link Vercel to your GitHub, okay? Vercel goes very well with GitHub. I was already using GitHub before I discovered Vercel, and now I use it. Okay, so here I would put my GitHub username and my GitHub password, and I would click sign in, okay? So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to close this because I've already done this before. And I'm going to go back to my Microsoft Edge browser, which is where I keep my Vercel. And so one thing we can see in here is that when we log on to Vercel, we can see Jason Rathgaber's projects, and we can see Next, Mechanizd, and Mechanizd.ai. These very roughly correspond to these projects that I've got here, right? I've got 1, 2, 3 projects here. And I've got 1, 2, 3 projects here. Set this all up before I went on holidays, so having a little bit, sometimes you come up with some names for your projects, and it seems like a really good idea at the time to give them similar names. Next Mechanizd, and Next Mech AI. But you go on holidays for 2 weeks, you come back, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, these names are a little too similar. You know, maybe instead of as project names, instead of using the word mechanized everywhere, you're a little bit more specific about what we want to about what we want to name these things. So I think that actually one thing you can see here is you can see the domain that goes with each one. So now this is sort of ringing a bell to me. Next Mech project is actually, look, there's a little picture of it. You know, you guys we've all seen this, right? And now we can just see a picture of exactly what we're talking about in here. And so I can remind myself that this is how I developed the Mechanizd.com. You can see this is the domain that I have it mapped to. And there's also, I happen to have a custom domain that I supply, but if you don't have a custom domain, you would have one of these domains that Vercel makes for you automatically. Okay? Yeah, perfect. Active branches, I just use the main branch, right? It used to be called master in GitHub, but I don't use the branches. But one of the nice things of Vercel is you can very quickly go here and we can just open it up, any project, and just check it, right? This is deployed to the internet. We'll be providing more details on that. So I think that, like I said, for my client, my customer, the reason I'm sort of making this YouTube video, number one, make your account on Vercel, okay? And then once you've made it, we want to create a new project, right? So to create a new project or to import our project, right? How are we going to do that? We are going to go to this tab and we're going to click on Add New, okay? Add New Project. And we're going to import a Git repository. You can see that on my GitHub, right, which I'm going to try and sort of avoid showing on this particular video, but we will go through it in the future. You can see I've got these 4 GitHub projects. Let's do it. Let's go to my GitHub here. And just make sure that we sync that up, right? Go to GitHub. This is my GitHub, always on here all the time. Your profile. So, you know, that's the level of, you know, this channel is going to be about, you know, sort of have a technological, you know, programming element to it, right? Hard to imagine this channel is going to be low code or no code or a no code automation channel. I know the market for that is probably a lot higher. But here on this channel, we're going to be focused on, we're going to be, I think, talking about AI and developing, and not developing our own AI. You know, one thing we'll never be doing here is developing our own AI. But one thing we might be doing is using AI tools. I think that's the type of thing that I see us going through, is using OpenAI, using Perplexity, using Google AI, using Claude, using these AI tools, doing some light development to use them, right? I think that's what's going on with Vercel. They're using JavaScript and then programming apps that make use of AI technology. It's the type of thing I'm interested in. That's what the Mechanizd website's about. So we've got my GitHubs here. Got various projects, which I will be talking about in the future, as I need to talk about. We want to go to repositories. I actually don't use projects, I use repositories. There we go. We got Next Mech. I believe actually this is the project. Somebody went and starred it. I wonder who did that. I've got a star for Next Mech. I believe that this repository is the repository that goes with the Mechanizd website. Could be wrong. But anyway, the point here is to make a new project on Vercel is you click import, you connect your GitHub to it, okay? And then I will select a project to import, right? So I've got Next.JS, and then I would click import. It's really that simple, okay? Today's lesson, make your Vercel account import your project. That's the point of this YouTube video. 1, 2, do it. Incredible technology. And as you want to follow on with me as I develop Mechanizd, you're going to be wanting up to speed on doing this. I'm thrilled with, I'm really excited about it. I wanted to take a look at just one thing before this video ends. Okay, and I'm going to maybe just tone down my voice a little bit. Maybe I should have I want to just take a look at a few of the templates that are available on Vercel. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go back to Chrome here, start up a new browser so I don't go here. I'm going to go back to Vercel, and I just wanted to take a look at one of the ways that you can get started. And there's a lot going on in here. Turbo Repo, the AI SDK. We're going to be going through these things. I want to learn all of this stuff, what all of these is, but I'm just going to take a look at templates today. This was on my list just to take a look at a few of the templates that are available. And you can see you've got all these different types of templates. I mean, I think this is amazing. And in fact, if you look at this particular one, right, this is where where my homepage came from Mechanizd. Look. So now you guys know how I made the Mechanizd website, right? I took this template, I swapped in my own logo, I just changed these texts, right? That's all I really did. That's all I really did. But there's so many in here, and I just think it counts, right? Just because that's what I did doesn't make it not real, right? You know, they've made this stuff to be used, okay? And we could go through all of these different templates, real-time apps. One of the benefits of Next.JS, right? Serverless architecture deployed to the cloud, particularly good for real-time. I believe that real-time chat apps. Actually, maybe I was thinking of, but now that I see it, it's something that comes to mind. Something that we want to be good at is real-time. We don't want to have batch-driven apps or just static apps that don't move. So I think that is something to look into in the future. But I think what we want to do is just very quickly look at AI. I was taking a look at some of these AI apps, right? And some of these are not sort of there's the chatbot, right? Pinecone Vercel AI SDK. Pinecone is a database for storing vectors, right? It's a vector database. This is a little bit too technical for me and what we're going to be up to. Whom AI emphatic voice interface starter. Very interesting, right? You know, we think about AI and what's happening. You know, I think that started off with chat, people making chat bots, but in the future I could see people talking to AI, right? Just talking about what they want their AI to do. And, you know, Alexa and Siri and some of these were fun for a while, but sort of petered out. But I think that once you, that's the type of thing people are working on, right? And I think the same type of thing, whereas OpenAI came out with the chat functionality and people were like, wow, all of a sudden it just crossed the threshold of, too amazing and too surprising. The same thing needs to happen with voice, right? Like, I think it's probably true that that's not exactly happened just yet, but is probably coming. Anyway, I was taking a look through these lists of apps, and a few struck me as interesting. AI headshot generator, okay. Look at that, LangChain. See, LangChain plus Next.JS starter. You know, this is not doing anything for anybody. These are two technologies, LangChain, Next.JS. So this would be a technical one, right? But when I take a look at, this is the type of thing that I actually wanted to use. I've used some headshot apps a few times, so I'd almost be interested to see how that works. There are a couple others in here. Twitter AI bio generator, right? That's the type of thing I'm interested in. Generative AI, right? Using AI to do some things that I wanted help with myself, right? I wanted a headshot at one stage. I want AI to write some tweets for me. And just, I'm a lazy person, right? I'm naturally lazy. That's what generative AI is about. It's going to make my headshot, make me look better. It's going to write my tweets. It's going to make my CV. It's going to find me a job. It's going to create an income for me, right? It's going to be out there making money while I'm by the pool. I mean, who doesn't have that dream? So that's why these are the ones that are of interest to me. Scribble diffusion. Turn your rough sketch into a refined image using AI. Very interesting. But something I really wanted to do myself? Actually, no. Why? Because I'm not a big sketcher, right? If I had a lot of sketches here, and if only these were no, it's just not the type of thing. I want a Twitter bio. Postgres on Vercel. Vercel Postgres PG Vector. I love Postgres, right? Actually, I'm showing my desktop. Just before we started, I've got PG admin here as a hotkey. I love Postgres, incredible database. Type of thing we're going to talk about on this call. Open source database. Worked at a company. Often tell the story of how I worked at a company that had a huge Postgres database, financial company in New York. Multiple 5 billion row tables, storing financial tick data, right? So for example, 10-year treasury bond, every time the price moves, right, that's called a tick. You've probably seen different types of databases, maybe that store end of day prices for the US treasury bond. That would just be one price per day. Maybe you would have sort of what's called a bar database or a time series database where you store the open, the high, the low over a particular time period, like an hour, right? That's another way to, end of day pricing database would be very small for the 10-year treasury bond, right? Because how many days are you going to have per year? Only 200, right? But if you maybe go down to 1 hour bars, well, you could have potentially 24 bars per day, right? But if you go down to, at least with sort of a time series database where you're storing bars, you know how many there's going to be per day, right? But if we're talking tick data, right? And tick data is, every time there's a trade, every time the price moves, every time the open and close or the bid offer update, that's a tick. And the point here is that there's a huge amount of ticks per day, right? Huge amount. I can't remember per day, but I remember looking at the size of these tables, and 10 years ago it was 5 billion, okay? It's probably 10 billion. These are probably 15 billion rows. So the point is that Postgres is a great database for storing huge amounts of data. They talked about it being enterprise grade, but on this channel and what we're interested in, we're probably, we might get down to this level. I love Postgres. We might get down to this level, but we also might not. Some technologies, Flask, alt text generator, sort of interesting, but once again, not an actual use case. AI photo restorer might be a use case, or like something that you might want to do. But I want to get down here. I just found this one so interesting. Elevate your tech interviews. I'm going to click on this. One click deploy. You can see npx create comes from it just comes from GitHub. You can click on these examples. You can see what they're using in here. Using Next.JS framework, using Vercel, using Upstash, serverless data platform. Here, actually, I don't know what that is. Okay, so I would need to sort of get it, but this looks pretty interesting. AI mock interview simulator. Sort of had to admit, came to mind. I'm just going to talk a little bit on this video. I was thinking about the Mechanizd site. Right now on the Mechanizd site, we've got these projects that are of interest to me. Spring AI, LangChain, Next.JS. But I was thinking maybe could we make, given that this is a .com domain, could we make this website have things that would be of interest to people? Okay, so I was almost sort of thinking that instead of Spring AI, LangChain, Next, where we're talking about technologies, maybe to have the Mechanizd.com website have use cases that are of interest to people sort of finding a job, right? A lot of people are it's just sort of business idea. I'll be straight with you, right? Maybe that's the people who are interested to increase their ability in AI and learn about AI technologies. But why do you want to learn about AI, right? I can only guess I'm trying to think of reasons off the top of my head. I think one reason would be to program a startup like Mechanizd.com. I'm going to program my own startup. I'm going to sell. I'm a solopreneur here. I'm a developer. That'd be one reason to develop. Another reason might be to get a job, right? So I just sort of see AI technology assisting the job search process, right? Searching for a job is actually, bloody, brutal, hard work, isn't it? It's manual, it's repetitive. One of the things about searching for a job is that it's sort of wasted work, right? Like if it was like writing code, where you write code and you commit it, and then every time you make a commit, you sort of feel like you've made an accomplishment. Every time you apply for a job on a website, 1 out of 10 times you get called back. It's just totally random. 9 out of 10 times it's wasted effort, right? It just goes into the trash. So why not have AI do that for you? So I was taking a look at these project ideas, and I was just thinking, could we have the Mechanizd.com be a website where instead of tech use cases, which only means something to me, could we have Mechanizd.com be a website where you've got interview prep, AI generated interview prep, a headshot generator for your LinkedIn to make yourself look prettier, make yourself look younger? Could you have Twitter bio generator to make yourself looked? And actually, now that I look at it, I was looking at the headshot generator, and I was taking a look at these beautiful headshots, because it's just this exists, right? Like this is on. There's two ways to look at this. Well, this is already just a template on the Vercel website, right? You got to think that this has been done 1,000 times. They're just giving it away for free, right? But at the same time, don't disrespect that, right? They are giving it away for free, but we want to learn how this works. And I'm taking a look at this technologies that are in here. And we've got Stripe for billing, okay, which coincidentally happened to be looking at yesterday for some other reasons. Got Vercel for deployment. Tailwind CSS, absolutely yes, right? This Shadcn, don't know where this is coming from, but don't know anything about that, but I keep hearing about it. Something I want to learn about. Okay. Resend, optional to email a user when it doesn't sound optional at all. I mean, look at that. You can come up with a website, and when the headshots are ready, we got Next.JS for the app and the landing page. Supabase, don't know about Supabase, but I've heard of other people on YouTube talking about Supabase. I believe it's a NoSQL database. I have no idea. I could look into it. Astria for the AI model. Now, why is it using Astria for an AI model? I have no idea. There's a live demo here. I could click on that. I already feel like I've talked a lot on this video. It feels good just to, come back from holidays. That's what we're going to be doing on this channel, is going through some of these technologies, and then I'm going to be talking about it, right? Because I'm the mech master. I'm supposed to be the master of all these different technologies. It doesn't mean I know everything, far, far from it, but given a list of technologies like this, there's usually 1, 2, 3 which I'm pretty familiar with. This is sort of interesting to me. I mean, what is Astria for AI model? In the future, it's sort of you're making a YouTube video and then you're talking and then you're like, well, I wish I knew all of this stuff. But I just think that that's life, right? We don't know all of this stuff. I'm going to take this, and so this is one of my projects for the week, right? I think this list of technologies, although not perfect, if only it had Postgres there instead of Supabase, if only they were using an AI model, which I've actually heard of, like OpenAI, Perplexity, Claude, Google, it'd be more interesting to me. But you know what? I mean, it's the type of thing I want to find out. Why have I not heard of this, right? For AI model training, do we need to train, like to go and run this? Do I need to train this myself? I don't want to get into training my own AI models. But if I have to, a little light training, I will. Run it locally to create your own headshot. Follow these steps. Training models is only available on paid plans. You need an active Astra API key to train the models. Vercel template, clone your repo, enter your newly created repo's directory, install from npm, for yarn, the magic link Supabase, create an Astria account. There's a lot to do here. Configure Vercel blob for image uploads, create a resend account, configure Stripe, start the development server, visit localhost, one-click deploy. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot to do here, okay? And we're not going to be going through any of that on this video, but we're just going to take one step further, and I just wanted to go here. I'm going to paste this back. Without viewing the demo, I'm going to click deploy. Headshots, starter clone. Should we change the name? Add integrations. Configure project. Deploy. Let's do it like this. Create. Sort of wishing I gave it a bit different repository name. Because I take a look at my GitHub and I look at my repositories. Unfortunately, I'm a pickler for that. I've got every repository. I might change that. So now, sort of interesting. TypeScript is the code. MIT license, which is a very forgiving one. I think I've understood that MIT allows you to do anything you want with the project. But there it is. So as you can see, I clicked on you're almost done. Please follow the steps to configure your project and deploy it. But look, we've got it in here in my GitHub. We're almost done here. Add integrations, configure project, deploy. I really like it. I'm going to stop the video there, right? Rather than do this for the first time. You know, I've clicked on this for the first time on this video, and I wanted to show you how easy it is, right? The point of this video, just to summarize, was to remind you, make a Vercel account. State-of-the-art technology. Everybody's doing it. Just make an account. Totally free, right? Totally, we didn't look at the plans, but it's totally free. Point number 2 is link it to your GitHub, right? So you need a GitHub to go with Vercel. Vercel and GitHub tend to go great together. So for me, that was just, I've been using GitHub for a long time. Okay, at first I didn't want to use Vercel, but then I saw all these companies using it in the AI space, right? Big list of AI templates, exactly what we want to learn on this channel. How they work, I mean, that's how I figure out how this stuff works, right? I like to run demos, go through the list of technologies, and decide for myself what I like and what I don't. And then import the project, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these steps offline, and then in a further video I'm going to show you guys the results. That's my plan. Okay, so that's it for today. One last thing, I've been working on some landing pages on my holidays. Watched some great videos from people whose names I can't remember, and I'd like to quote, about landing pages, about conversions, about you know, that's going to be part of it, right? One of the reasons I'm making this YouTube channel is because I don't want to just be developing an absolute anonymity anymore. I want to share the process, but at the same time, you know, it's going to be part of the fun to make a landing page. So in the description for this video, I'm going to post a few links, a few landing pages that I worked on. I'll also plan to make some videos about how I made those landing pages. I use some different technologies. I think I'm just going to post the links for now. If someone would click on them and input an email, I'd be grateful. If someone would post a comment about maybe what they think of Vercel, what they think of these AI demos, what they think of the landing pages that I've created, I think that'd be awesome. And that's it, folks. I will catch you on the next video.